Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. So, I already kind of explained this couple that I saw in the library who initially appeared to be down on their luck. And I will link that video, like, I don't know, somewhere up, probably in here, maybe in here. I don't know. I'll try and like do this thing where you put a card and it links the video, and I don't know. I think you click on the little eye and it'll tell you. Anyways, I'll go ahead and try and link that somehow so that you can see a better explanation. But anyways, short version is I saw a couple in the library. Guy was playing on his iPad, girl was sleeping on the guy, like kind of like leaned across on this couch thing. She woke up. Quickly I realized they weren't just a couple down on their luck. They were a young couple who she wasn't taking care of her kid. He was denying that he could even possibly be the father of this kid, not her kid, a different kid, and that they were drug addicts based on the whole tolerance thing and everything. And she thought honestly, I think that deep down she had like some really low self-esteem. And so she really tried to pretend she thought she was sexy. But she got a call, and then she went over into the other section, talked really loudly. Anybody in the library could easily hear this couple. Well, not necessarily the guy. He was pretty quiet. He didn't say much except for "not my kid." In fact, I think that was the only sentence I think I heard him say. I heard him say it several times. "Not my kid. Not my kid." "Oh, they just did a DNA test and it turns out that such and such isn't the dad. What's going to happen if you think if it turns out you're the dad?" "Not my kid." Which she seemed to kind of get great pleasure from, because I think it was, like, oh, phew, he's not going to leave me for her and go be daddy. Anyways, she got a call and she walked off in the stacks. And she came back and she explained to her boyfriend that he's got to love her because she got her, I'm guessing her mom, based on what she said, maybe her sister, to, they didn't have any money in their Cash App or something. So they were going to she was having her husband, I don't know if it was the girl's brother-in-law, stepdad, drive down to give them money. Like from Chicago, like an hour and a half. And they were going to use it to get drugs in a hotel. Well, I can't guarantee the drugs. I can't guarantee the hotel. She definitely mentioned the hotel. The drugs are definitely more speculative based on the rest of the conversation they had. But and then they invited the other couple to come down and stay in the hotel room with them that had just had the baby, where they found out that the guy wasn't the father. And this woman is supporting somebody who is destroying their life. Now, if it was my sister or my child, I wouldn't support them in that way. I would try and help them get clean. I would let them stay with me in a more safe, stable environment. But I wouldn't give them money to party in a hotel room. Because It's not safe or healthy for them. You know, of course you don't want somebody you love to be on a street or in the car or anything. You want them, more safe. But just giving them money like that isn't necessarily the best choice for them. Um, and I've seen this story 1,000 times. And I've seen parents give their kids money in hopes that it would help them and that they would make better choices and get clean and sober and everything else because they want to do whatever they can to keep their child safe. But sometimes certain things that you do actually don't provide safety for them. And this is in no way a judgment on the sister or mother or whoever was giving her money. Because I understand that it can be hard. And I am very lucky not to be in that position. I'm very blessed to not be in that position. I hope I am never in that position where I have to make that choice. Because to have to tell my kid, no, I'm not going to give you money to get a hotel room and party in the hotel room would be hard. It would be difficult. Sorry, my thing makes noise. Now I'm playing with it. So today's tip for frugal living is to be careful how you choose to support an addict, because they can quickly drain your finances and they are not better for it. I would go absolutely broke and bankrupt if my kid needed me to, so that I could get him in a safer situation, or if I needed to get him in a rehab program or something like that. Absolutely 100%. I would sell my blood in order to protect him in that way. But I'm not going to give him money to kind of like shore him up as he goes through that addiction process. And I mean, thank God, like I said, thank God my kid is not an addict. I do recognize that from a genetic standpoint, it is a risk. I've had that discussion with my child that this is a risk. This is, your genetic history. This is, your dad is not the only addict in his family. He comes from a whole bunch of them. And, there is a genetic link. So I definitely I've had that talk with my kid since he was like 9 or 10-ish. Maybe even a little younger than that. He might have been as young as 8 when we had that conversation the first time. Obviously in graduated levels. But you can't make somebody hit rock bottom. You can't make them decide to get sober. And you obviously don't want to see somebody you love hurting themselves, Hence the reason I did the Narcan video. And I'll see if I can figure out a way to link that too. Addiction is like a really complicated thing, and I didn't think I would do 3 videos on it. 3. But the thing is addiction, whether it's your addiction or somebody else's addiction, can quickly drain bank accounts. And it can quickly put you in a bad financial position. And my goal is for people who watch to find community and find solutions and to be in a better financial position. I want everybody to be stable and be able to have nutritious food to eat and a warm house in the winter and a cool house in the summer, and, basic shelter. And be clothed and clean, have clean water, like the basics. And then I would love to see a lot of people go a little beyond the basics so that they've got that cushion and that comfortability. Because I don't think the struggle should be the way it is. It's tough. It's so tough. I think that we should have less of a struggle as human beings and more joy in our lives. I really want people to have safety, comfortability, and joy. That is, my wish for the world. Whether you are, on the other side of the world from me, in a completely different culture, speaking a completely different language, which, I guess then you're not watching this video, but I still want those people to be doing great. I suppose they could be, getting like a subtitle translation kind of a thing. But chances are, so whether you're trying to go from $1 a day, absolute, poverty, or whether you're experiencing first world problems, because we do have a lot of food insecurity and such in the US right now. We have for decades. I don't know why I say right now. And I suspect with how everything's going and the mass layoffs and stuff that could be worse. So I really do want to just see everybody doing well. And addiction can ruin a family. It can ruin a life. It can ruin so much. So today's tip for frugal living is, this is a hard one, don't enable somebody you love. And I've been the enabling wife. But sometimes you have to say no, and sometimes it's going to be hard, and that is so hard from an emotional standpoint, because you want to do everything you can to protect that person because you love them. You truly love them, even if they're not capable of loving you back at that point. And I am in no way an addiction specialist or an addiction counselor. And I highly recommend that if you are in that situation, that you do seek the help of somebody who does specialize in that. But I don't recommend that you enable that person and give them money, because it's just not good for them or you. Anyways, most of my tips for frugal living are not focused on addiction. I don't know why I'm on a kick. I finally got my Narcan video that I just gave up on last night and was like, after 12 takes, this is going to have to be it. And then I run into them in the library today. Um, so, yeah. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa. This year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.